Hi everybody, Chris with VEI Communications in Seymour, and I'm going to do a little video about scan lists and how do you do scanning in these Kenwood radios. So before I get started with actually hands on the radio, it may be handy for you to have a list of your channels in there. So I've got one printed out here for this radio. You just basically look at this and then you could, note, okay, I want that in scan list 1 and 2, and I want this in the scan list, and you just go down through there and you can make note. And that way, when you're in the radio doing stuff, you sort of have a reference to look at, and it may make it a little handier. So you might want that. So here I've got my radio. This is a Kenwood 8000, VP-8000, but it's similar for all the other radios in the series, the 5000, the 6000. First thing is if you are currently scanning, which that's the scan symbol, and the R means radio wide scan, you want to turn that off. I don't remember if it's like that for the 8000, but in the 5000 series, if you're currently scanning, you cannot edit the list. So turn that off. And now jump into your menu, and you may have to scroll around and find some stuff. Here is my radio wide scan area, and then there is a scan area. The difference is the radio wide scan scans everything across the radio, regardless of the mode or the band that might be in. If you've got a 5000, you're probably just going to have your scan here. That scans like just in one area, like P25. It'll just scan within that area. So that's the difference between the two. They program up basically the same. So I have my radio wide scan edit selected, and I'm going up and down in this menu with the up and down button, and then the menu button over here. You select that or push that to select different things. So I'm in radio wide scan edit, and the first thing I want to do, because I was playing around earlier, is reset these lists. If you don't want to erase everything in your radio wide scan list, do not do this. That's why it asks, do you really want to do this? And I do. So I did it. And now it dumps me back out to the main screen. So I'm just going to jump back into my menu with my menu button. And I want to get back into radio wide scan edit. And now I want to go into lists. And to dive into these menus deeper, I'm just hitting this menu button again. So now I see my two lists. Now, you might want to have two lists because maybe you have a daytime scan list that has, everything under the sun in it. But your nighttime scan list, maybe you just want, a couple of dispatch channels or something in there. Totally up to you. You don't have to program both of them up, but you can if you want to. So I'm going to jump into this list. And now I have my channel list. And the way I go through this is just the up and down buttons to select the different channels. And so you just keep hitting the button and you'll go through all the channels in the radio. You don't have to worry about changing zones or anything. Every time you hit up on that button, it goes to the next channel. So now, and I'll show you that here in a second, but now I want to add this to my scan. The X up there says it is not in the current scan list. So I use my right or my left button and it changes it. So there's an S. So now that means I have that in my scan list. So now all I have to do is go up and say, okay, yep, I want that repeater in there, and I don't need that one, and oh, that one will be good. And you can just keep going. And these are all VHF stuff, but now I'm actually in 800 P25 trunk system stuff. So, oh yeah, I want that one in there, and maybe I want that one, and I don't need that one, but oh, definitely that one. So you just go through your whole list by hitting the up or down button and telling it if you want it in there or not. And when you have everything selected, you can hit save. You can hit save at any point, and you can keep going. So if I add one in there, I hit save. You don't have to hit save every time, but you can if you want to. So now let's just say, okay, oh yeah, I want that one in there too. So I'll save my list, and now I'm going to go back out one. You can exit to the main screen, or you can go back out one menu level. And now this is where I'd say, oh, I want to change two, and I just want this one, and that's it. So I save it, and I'll exit out to the main screen. Now my radio scan lists are set up, but I'm not quite ready to scan yet. I want to jump back in. Really? I had a phone call, sorry. I want to jump back into my menu system, and I want to go to radio wide scan select. This is going to allow me to select which list I want to scan. If I select no list, it won't scan because I don't have a list selected. But let's say, oh, it's daytime, I'm on duty, or I'm hanging around the fire station. I want to scan the first list. I put that highlighted and I hit my menu button, and now it is selected. And I can either turn on my scan one of two ways. I can use my soft button if it's programmed up with radio wide scan. I hit radio wide scan.
Radio wide scan on.
And my scan icon is on there, and that R means it's radio wide scan. Or turn it off. I don't need it right now. Maybe I had a dedicated run. I want to turn my scan off. Or I can do that through my menu system as well. So turn it on, jump back out to the main menu. I've got my icon on there. So that, in a nutshell, is how you program in the radio wide scan. The biggest thing I've ever seen people having problems with is they forget to turn the scan off.
Radio wide.
Yep, see, I didn't have the list selected on that scan. They forget to turn their scan off before they go in there, and then it won't let them access and change things. So just remember to turn that off. So that's it. Scanning on the Kenwood 5000, 6000, 8000.